today. He's a former police officer, security person, and of course, a lawyer, still engaged in security with the Narcotics Control Commission. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning.
I hope you're well.
Yeah, the great.
How is the Narcotics Control Commission treating you?
Well, it's okay. It's cases upon cases, but it's fine.
I see. First, let's start with, and I want to find out first of all whether you've been monitoring these whole conversations about the entry into the residence of the Bank of former boss of the Bank of Ghana.
Yes, over the weekend I followed the conversation of it.
First, what do you make of what was said by Alexander Fenyo-Markins, the Deputy Attorney General's intervention that it was legal, and now suggesting that it was actually to dismantle an equipment that he was using to monitor what was happening at the BoG?
I think the general statement that I will make is that when it comes to the MPP, they will, especially with the Fenyo-Markins, he will make noise about every single thing that passes by. Fenyo-Markins will have issues to make noise with it. But what you need to understand is that when the security persons want to operate, they don't need his permission to operate. Neither do they need his consent. You understand? When the gentlemen or the operatives went to the house, did they show warrant? Was the warrant challenged? Has the governor challenged anything so far? Senna, if he has, kindly correct me.
Nothing on record.
Very good. So what is Fenyo-Markins talking about? Why are you crying more than a bereaved? Was the house raided? The man whose house was raided has not said anything. Are you his lawyer? You understand? So we need to understand that you can have every right for yourself, but no right is absolute. No right is absolute. When necessary, it can be interfered with. You understand? So, I think whatever they did, especially when that entry was to stop an action that was ongoing. Why is the man interested in seeing everything that is happening at the BoG? You no longer work there. You will not be going there to the kingdom come to work there. So why are you interested in seeing things that are happening there? As a former employee, what do you want to know? What do you want to see? What is your interest? It is absolutely unreasonable to have done that. That you are in your house, at the comfort zone of your house, and you are, monitoring or looking at things that are happening at the Central Bank of Ghana. As what? In what capacity are you doing that? Have you ever heard one before? His Excellency, the late Mizata was once a former governor. Did you hear that when he went home or when he left there, he was monitoring the affairs of the BoG in his house? The present governor, who was once a former deputy, name them. Dr. Dufo, when he left Central Bank as governor, did you hear that he was monitoring the affairs of the Central Bank in his house? What kind of life is
this? Is that to suggest that that's the intelligence you're also picking up as to why that was done?
Sana, I have no issue against that. It is okay for them to have done that, because the fact is that you can't do that. In fact, you see, do you know something? Even in the security apparatus, reasonably, when you are not even in service or when you are on leave, everything that is happening behind you, you don't need to know. How much more someone who has proceeded on retirement and he's in his house watching who is leaving, who is entering, who is doing what, who is not doing what? Come on.
The question I'm asking is whether, as far as you know, that was what he was doing.
But since he has not come to, dispute what we have been told, then we can take it on the face of it that, it is true. Moreover, there was a disconnection. Some gadgets were disconnected. What was he? I mean, that gadget was monitoring what? Is it just his house? We all have cameras in our homes. So if it was just cameras monitoring your house and your premises, then there was no need for the disconnection. But if you are seeing somewhere else, which is not within your jurisdiction, the first question is, why were you looking at those things? In what capacity were you looking at those things? Are you still in charge of the central bank?
And from the because you are a security person. Secondly, you are also a lawyer. Now, what he did, because he said he hasn't denied it, the allegation of spying, how serious is it?
No, it's very serious, especially where the very institution that you are spying is not just an ordinary institution. It's not somebody's home. Even if it's somebody's home, I mean, it's wrong legally. So how much more an institution that gets one of the top security protections at Central Bank of Ghana, and someone sitting somewhere is seeing everything that is happening there. The question again that I'll ask is that when you were picking or seeing those things, whom were you giving those information to? Were you relating what you were seeing to somebody else? Or it was just for your consumption? Who else was seeing those things that you were also seeing? There are 1,001 questions that he may not be able to answer. So it's serious. And you can't do that. I mean, I've never even heard one before. That's why I gave you instances of past governors who have been on retirement, some are even alive now, that you've never heard any of this Dr. Wampa and Co. Did you ever hear that any of these people, when they left the institution and went home, they were monitoring the BoG from their homes? It's quite serious. I'm trying to understand why such things can happen. To the extent that security, operators have to come into your house, come and disconnect certain, gadgets or whatever, to prevent you from doing one or two things. I don't think it's right, Senator. He has become more or less a statesman now. So I just want to accord him with an indebted respect. But I think that if what we are hearing is exactly and entirely true, then it's very, very, very unfortunate.
There's also been a suggestion that typically when you detect these things, you just destroy what is at the at the BoG, that there was no need to enter into his house.
No. There was a need to enter there. You see, I asked some questions earlier, if you remember. I said that, whom was he watching those things with? Who else was seeing those things that he was seeing in case he's not even there? Again, was he relating those information that he was speaking, or he was seeing to somebody else? These are all serious security questions that you need to ask. Was he sharing those information that he was seeing on his cameras or whatever, or on his screens?
Well, we've lost lawyer on the line. We'll call him. I'll get him back. So we'll get lawyer Alexander TWUM BARIM, who is Deputy Director General, Narcotics Control Commission, join us for a conversation. We'll get him back on the line, conclude a conversation with him on this particular issue. Now, the allegation is that the search involved spying. So that he was actually spying on the Bank of Ghana, which he had left. Okay. That he had devices installed there that enables him to see what was happening at the Bank of Ghana whilst at home. Sorry, we lost you on the line there. But yes, then, are you suggesting that maybe the disconnection at his house and maybe at the BoG should not end the matter?
Oh, no. there are further questions that you need to be called to ask. Because you see the questions that I've asked you need answers to them. The team that went there, the investigators handling the matter, should call him and then ask these questions and make sure that they investigate it well. Because the question is, for how long has he been monitoring? Is it since he left? What has he seen so far? And whom has he related those information to? Central bank is not just somebody's house. And even if it's somebody's house, it's privacy. We are entitled to privacy. How much more a whole institution, a bank? Ask even the smaller banks. How many of them are the managing directors monitoring their affairs in their homes? Or former managing directors monitoring affairs in their homes? Who does that? So I would suggest to them that they should ask further and better questions. They should call him or invite him and ask him further and better questions and investigate it properly. Because you need to know how long he has been monitoring, everything that he has seen, whom he has been relating with, among other things. You need to check all the things and make sure that you are very satisfied with the answers that he is going to give you. Before you can think of letting it even slide. It's not just an ordinary matter, so you can't just let it pass by. That, it was just something that you were seeing. It's not disconnected, so that's it. No. The essence of CCTV is part of security. You plant or you put those things there to monitor events, to monitor things that are happening. Entry, exit, among other things. So, when you do that as also, you gather some information. And based on those information that you gather from what you are seeing, you take actions upon them. So that's why I'm asking that. Since he started monitoring, what has he seen? Has he shared whatever he was seeing with people? If yes, who were those? Are those people planning of anything? We need to know you need to even know whom he shared it with. And then based on the character of those persons, you can even decide the next line of action. So it's like a chain. It leads from one to the other. So they can't just let it slide.
Because the institution involved is even the Bank of Ghana. And I recall famously when there was that demonstration for his removal. Because of... they said the demonstrators could not go near the Bank of Ghana because it was a security zone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sana. So if a place of that nature, demonstrators were not even allowed to come close. These were people who were not even armed, though. They had no evil intent. They were just there to present a petition to him asking that he should resign or be dismissed or be sacked for action that he has taken, which we saw that was inappropriate and unlawful. Even with that, with police escorts among other things, they were prevented. And now the same person who, based on his orders or directives, prevented them from coming and sent, is it the head of security or something to come and pick a letter or pick the petition? That person is now lying in the comfort of his home, of his house, and now monitoring every single thing, every single entry and exit of the central bank. This thing cannot just be allowed to slide. Like I said, I'm knowing that the national security are those who are handling it. With my experience and my understanding of security, I always suggest that they can't just let it pass by because, we have gone to disconnect those things. No. Based on the questions that I've thrown out there, they should call him or invite him and ask for them better questions. If he's able to justify his actions and then giving or give reasonable answers, fair enough. But if he's not, appropriate action must be taken.
Then what do we do to the allegations that have been made by Alexander Fenyomakins? 10,000 Ghana cedis being missing, jewelry missing, cars driven to unknown locations, and the governor then called that go and pick up the cars, among others. What happens to those assertions he made?
The 10,000 Ghana cedis was what? Sorry.
Said was missing after the raid. And he even alleges that there was national security people who are hungry who stole the money, among others.
That is why I asked of the locus of Afeno Market. What is his locus in this matter? Is he the council or whatever to the former governor? I want to be corrected. So now, if that's the case, can be corrected so that
no, he's not.
He is not.
He's not.
So why is he carrying more than the bill? The governor has not said that his money is missing. Afeno Martins is the one saying, or he lives in his house. He's becoming too busy for very useless things. So. He's becoming too busy for very useless things. Somebody goes to another person's house. The one whose house they made entry is not saying that I've lost A, B, C, D. But someone who doesn't even live next to his house, who doesn't live within his house, is the one telling us the events or things that has happened in his house. At the same time, that person is not even a lawyer to even the victim. Afeno Martins. Anyway.
Well, okay.
Lawyer Pombo Cordie.
Hey.
My colleague, Leonard.
Are you?
But the other side, I'm some the other side.
Are you?
But to be a I drink Chinisia.
That's the thing.
Yankopon and Daruma, who you met you can check a crack. What ya Mary show. Now, where the Mimi do call the other side, Cacranian and TSA and Narcotics Control Commission. Much a year British, a year national beer or debon some taway, a beer baby Pimu Kutuka International Airport. Sanity. Now, a command is or the fag gun had Yakoba before an answer Hayano deba.
Or the when you are on you. Man, and I am about 1 hour momentarily. And Munuano, national, you can only come in another way for you can win with visa. A honey visa free in Uburumu. They die over man. To be would be I was standby or working to get visa for her. And to say any panels who was sick. And then there was someone who was also a standby to pick her to a certified location. And also was picked. In me and are in custody.
Semo, you and Tina me per se ya ditch more because dear crown yesi omunjaishi. Na or de bahai na minim so the bay dra na se or beton the microphone tina na e madwumuna kaka.
You say your map can my dear Drew. Your percentage level be permitted. On the Drubiano, it is that Tramo, yet you money that require. Tramo is permitted, but I have to a certain milligram and they are permitted. It say more than the permitted milligram, no, you bet you. John, you know the Minia, and yet your dear Drunibia, whatever.
Your Bomunibia. You lawyer,
just on that. You know, there's this new thing that they call it Unim Red.
Unim Red.
Yeah.
Does that fall under your purview?
Yes, it does. In fact, exactly a week ago, yes, we were at the Tama port. The weekend before that, our boys or our men, full of it. So we accosted it there, and together with customs and then Food and Drugs Board, we prevented the container from coming out. Apparently, they told us that it was going to Niger, but we were in doubt because sometimes some of these things, they will tell us that it's in transit. But before you realize it will find its way back into the country or even stay within the country. So we took over, opened, and then saw that no, this was some of the things that young person able to be, and I said we don't want it to go out immediately. So immediately we put our seals on all the institutions that I mentioned: narcotic control, customs, and then FDA. They all put our seals on the container. So Monday, on Monday, that was last week Monday, Honorable Akando led us, together with my boss, Brigadier General Mante, the head of customs. Then you all went, and then the FDA boss. You all went to the airport, the harbor, and then went to open it, confirm that indeed it was one of those things that we were talking about, and then sealed it. So it was not going to go to Niger, neither was also going to remain in this country. But at the right time, we go and destroy them.
But there seems to be an epidemic when it comes to it, because they still get access to it and are using it. Are there any plans to make sure that you eradicate it completely? If not completely, you reduce its availability?
Oh, yes, Senator. And I can say that with the leadership that we have now, led by the regional man, we are poised. And based on his experience as a military officer, among other things, he is poised that we will not allow this thing to come into destroy our boys. Yesterday, somebody sent me a video of one of these boys who stands in traffic cleaning your windscreen. Funny enough, the boy has taken this drug to the extent that he thinks he's cleaning the windscreen, yet he was just lying on the bonnet. He couldn't even move his hand. So it is destroying our youth. And we are going to go by all legal means to get all those who are selling the things within Ghana, in our marketplaces, those who are doing it in pharmaceutical shops and so on and so forth. We will get them. We will get them. It's permitted. So they should stop it. But if they continue and the law gets you, that one is one problem.
And we wish you the best in that fight. But the committee you're working on, are you done with your work?
Yes, we are done.
Oh, you're done. You submitted
Yes, our report has been submitted to the Honorable Minister of Interior.
Okay. Any highlights to share with us?
Well, there were some key findings.
Okay.
One, for instance, this one, let me kindly say that the Honorable Minister should permit me to just give you one or two. Respectfully. For instance, in immigration, we reckon that in 2022 they did huge number of recruitments, but none of this was made known publicly.
2022.
Yeah.
How big?
Sorry.
How many?
Oh, it's over 2,000 persons were recruited.
Over 2,000 persons in 1 year.
Yeah.
Into immigration alone.
Yeah, I'm just giving you immigration. It was done across board, but in immigration, over 2,000 persons, but there was no advertisement for it. Now, if you record the 2024 recruitment, do you remember that the then minister made it known to Ghanaians that it's a backlog from 2021?
Yes.
And that they are not doing new recruitment. It's just the backlog that they are calling them to come back. And subsequently, after his statement, the police, the immigration, fire service, prison service also played out an advert asking for applicants who applied in 2021 and are still interested to submit their PIN or whatever and some few things to an email to the particular institution that they applied to, and then they are going to with them. And funny enough, when we went to do our checks, you reckon that, for instance, with the police, there were persons who completed secondary school in 2022, completed secondary school in 2023, and all in training. So the question is, if you are calling for backlog in 2021, even those who completed secondary school in 2021, some of them are there. But the point is that you are not, the 2021 graduates cannot be part of that recruitment exercise, because the time that they were doing the recruitment exercise in 2021, they were in school. But there are persons who completed 2021, SS in 2021, 2022, 2023, and they are in training and they are classified as backlog. How can they be a backlog when your advert is limited to only persons who applied in 2021? So that is one key issue. Another mind-blowing one thing is that when he went to immigration, you reckon that somebody who was about 50 years old was given an appointment letter to go for training.
50.
Yeah.
50.
50, yeah.
10 years to retirement.
I'm telling you.
What age was assigned the person? Because if you are 50, you are entering immigration, it means that you have to assign. Was the person using the same age?
The age on paper was 50.
50.
50, yes.
Wow.
But we were both to have issued this person with an appointment letter.
I see.
A lot of things happening there. Go and see the way people are living in tents with no fun, lying on structures or using structures as beds. It's sad.
Wow.
When they did the recruitment, I think because they knew that they were going to lose the elections, they just packed all the training schools. So I think Fusi Training School, which has a capacity of about 1,200 or so, they were giving times 2 of their number.
In 2024 alone, times 2.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2,400.
Yeah. The training school for Asim Fusi has a capacity of 500. They give them about 1,500 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is all for immigration alone?
Yeah, immigration. Fire service also has their own issues. Similar things. Backdating of appointment letters, among other things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, now that it's in the hand of the minister, perhaps we'll ask him whether he will put it out publicly. I was going to ask you, but I realized that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that part, I will leave it to the Honorable Minister to handle it. But
hello, Ryan. Hello. I guess we have lost lawyer Alexander TWUM on the line, Deputy Director General, Narcotics Control Commission. But I think basically we're done with the lawyer on this issue. A big thank you to him for speaking to us. We'll speak to one more person on this issue and then we'll bring it to a close. Very, very interesting things he said towards the end. 2022 alone, Immigration Service, 2,000. And it was never advertised. Where did they find the question is where they found even the 2,000? That was what I was coming to ask him, where they found the 2,000. How did they even find the 2,000 people? 2024, he's saying that the place that has the capacity to take 500 was a training school, capacity to take 500 was assigned 1,500. So that's immigration here. They just pump people into the immigration service like that. Wow. I thought their specialty, they should be one of the maybe least populated or something. But anyway, that's what has happened at the Ghana Immigration Service. In terms of, that's immigration alone. And he said fire service there's more. And fire service, the interesting thing about fire service is that I do have some information when it comes to fire service. I have a few friends in there. Very interesting place.
They are pushing a lot of people into fire service as well.